Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you've decided to join in and watch this video. So, a few of you may have seen a day or two ago, I put up a video with my latest collections, and in that was the new Wordsworth £5 coin. So I just thought that today we would take a bit of a closer look at the Wordsworth, and I will give you a bit more information about both the coin and Wordsworth himself. So let's just start off. So William Wordsworth is one of the most popular poets to have written the English language. His ode to love and joy, I wandered lonely as a cloud, more commonly known as daffodils, is among the nation's favourites. To commemorate the 250th anniversary of his birth and celebrate the life and work of one of Britain's greatest literary figures, the Royal Mint has struck a special £5 coin. Wordsworth was born on the 7th of April 1970, growing up near the Lake District in England. This beautiful landscape was his constant inspiration. Let's just show you some of the landscape on there. Where are we? Credited with beginning the English Romantic period in literature. His collaboration with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, lyrical ballads, broke new ground statistically, while his romantic epic, The Prelude, is considered one of his greatest works in English literature. For this coin design, acclaimed artist David Lawrence has featured lines taken from Wordsworth's celebrated poems, lines written a few miles above Tintern Abbey, weaving them into a design showcasing the magnificent scenery that inspired him. It's available in both gold, silver, proof, as well as brilliant uncirculated. The coin perfectly encapsulates the humanity's relationship with nature and an affinity Wordsworth expressed with untrammelled eloquence and passion. So that's a little bit about Wordsworth, where he grew up, and talking about some of his other works. So as we can see on here, you have the William Wordsworth name around the top, along with both the year of birth to year of death, which was 1770 to 1850, and then the landscape that we're talking about just now on there, with the words, "Nature never did betray the heart that loved her." I mean, I think that's a beautiful little sentiment on there. I think it's really nice, slightly different to the normal mint coins that we get. This comes in a I had this trouble the other day, in a sleeve that we can just pop it out. Let's just, before we move on, let's have a look at the coin specifications. And we can see it's a £5 coin, issued in the United Kingdom, made from copper nickel, weighing 28.28 grams with a diameter of 38.61 millimeters, brilliant uncirculated, designed again by Jody Clark and David Lawrence. I'll just quickly read you what it says on the back of this one. William Wordsworth is one of the most popular poets to have written in the English language. He was born and grew up near the Lake District, returning there to set up family home at Duff Cottage in Grasmere. The beautiful landscape of the lakes and fells was his constant inspiration and led to him writing poetry that started the English Romantic movement in literature. This £5 coin commemorates the 250th anniversary of the birth of William Wordsworth and celebrates his life and poetry. So yeah, that's a nice little bit of information giving you about Wordsworth himself. We can see the reverse of the coin here. Just move you in, and you can see obviously Jody Clark designing this one, which has become obviously quite common now. So again, lots of information here about Wordsworth's life, where he was born, Cockermouth on the north edge of the Lake District, went to school in near Windermere, lost both his parents by the time he was 13, but despite that he continued his education and graduated in 1791 from John's College in Cambridge. His first volume of poems was published in 1793, so 2 years after he'd graduated. A further 2 years later he met Samuel Taylor Coleridge, whose friendship was pivotal in his movement as a poet. Wordsworth's work was considered radical following the publication of lyrical ballads co-authored with Coleridge, but over his long life he became a celebrated establishment figure. William Wordsworth died on the 23rd of April 1850 and was buried in Grasmere, 25 miles from where he was born. Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. I'm just trying to show you some of the parts of this. Absolutely beautiful scenery on this. Talking about Wordsworth's early career, essential to his development as a poet. Educated in the Lake District and took the opportunity to explore all of his surroundings. These lengthy rambles, which feature in the prelude, brought him in contact with the people of the Lake District and instilled in him a love of nature. Even in his latter years, Wordsworth's poetry was informed by powerful recollections of his youth. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody's visited the Lake District or lucky enough to live in that sort of area. It's something that featured very, very strongly throughout Wordsworth's career. He was one of 5 children, closest to his sister Dorothy. A legacy that he received in 1795 meant he could look after Dorothy, and she lived with her brother and his family until she died. Dorothy was a companion and confidant to her brother, and she had a powerful influence over his life and writing. The observations she made in her Grasmere journal show an acute awareness of people and nature. The experience she shared with William inspired many of his poems, including most famously I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, popularly known as Daffodils. And now we've just got a few lines from that poem there. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. I don't know, I mean, it's, you know, individual cases and thoughts, isn't it? I personally, I love daffodils. That's just from personal, what would we say, personal things that have happened in my life. My father, we were very fortunate where we lived as kids and as a young adult. Our back garden backed onto a large wooded area, and God, it was around about February every year. My father would go for long walks over the woods, and he'd come back with, you know, literally hundreds upon hundreds of daffodils. I remember not long after he got with my stepmum, while she was still sleeping, he went out, got daffodils and literally covered the house in daffodils. So yeah, daffodils have a, you know, a personal place with me, but I suppose it's, you know, we're all different, aren't we? So again, you know, I find these little pamphlets that they include with these coins absolutely amazing. The information that they include in them, as we can see there, we mentioned just now about Wordsworth living in Duff Cottage near Grasmere. So it goes on to tell you information with regards to Duff Cottage on there. You've obviously got some more lines from some of his more famous poems. Lustily I dipped my oars in the silent lake, and as I rose upon my stroke, my boat went heaving through the water like a swan. And I think, you know, if you can just see some of this landscape, it's really, really easy to understand just how inspired he was by his surroundings. And I think if you just take a minute to have a look at some of the surroundings, it's really easy to understand just why or how he was inspired so much by those. It's funny, I'm not a huge fan of £5, although the older crowns, I do quite like my crowns, but this without a doubt is my favourite £5 by a long shot. So that's a little bit of a more in-depth look at the Wordsworth coin. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below if you've enjoyed this little more in-depth look at it. Maybe it's something that we can do with some other coins going forward. Obviously in this difficult time, it's not easy to get hold of a lot of the newer coins, although I think most have been put on hold now anyway. So yeah, just let me know in the comments down below if you've enjoyed this one and it's something that we can do going forward. Thanks for watching. I hope to catch up with you guys again real soon. Can't tell you at the moment when I intend to be live next. So all that's left for me to say is please hit the thumbs up button. By all means leave a comment or a question or anything down below. If anybody wants to write to me, get into contact, anything like that, all of my details are in the comment section underneath. By all means send me any questions that you might have. If you want anything featured in a video, by all means you're more than welcome to send that to me. Please do hit the sub button, like and share, and I'll see you guys again real soon.